What's up, guys? It's your girl Angie B with BallerAlert, and we are here with singer, actor, heartthrob, Flynn. How are you feeling today?
I'm good. I'm great. Happy to be talking to y'all.
Hey, thank you so much. So you have a lot going on, which we love. You're super busy with your acting career. I mean, you're taking off. You're working on Dear White People now, and that shows almost like a cultural reset, highlighting Black millennials as they, navigate the diverse landscape of social injustice and cultural biases. What has it been working with the fourth season cast and seeing everything come to a close?
Yeah. No, it's a dream come true a little bit because as an actor, you want to be able to work on projects that have substance and that bring value and have cultural impact. Not a lot of us had the opportunity to do that. So, to be able to jump on board for this last season was amazing. I got to work with Antoinette, who was somebody I've been cool with for a long time. And, we got great chemistry. So on screen, it was fun. I got to work with her, and, shout out to Justin for allowing me to be a part of this final season.
Yes, and what was the highlight for you working on set? I mean, this season was a musical, so that's way different from the first three seasons.
Yeah. Aside from storyline, I say the one thing that was amazing to me is that I've only felt this way one other time when I was working with Tyler Perry. I was doing a show called what's the show? Not Medea, The Have and Have Nots. Don't
Mhm.
kill me, fans. Okay, I didn't forget. I just woke up. So anyway, being on set, working with Tyler, I got to see DPs, directors of photography, who were Black, and the cast being Black, and also the crew members being Black. And I saw that when I got to work on Dear White People. The directors were Black, they were women, and so it was super cool to be able to collaborate, with different representations, because it just doesn't happen that often. But as far as storyline goes, I didn't get to really sing that much. Only sang like a very short part of the scene, but it was still cool, still fun. I wish I could have had more opportunity to be more involved in that aspect, but for this character, that's not what they wanted.
Absolutely, but we're speaking into the future now. Let's manifest. It will happen.
Well, I mean, it's done now. I mean, the show's done, so it
No,
ain't.
with another opportunity though, for
Oh
sure.
yeah, I mean, yeah, that's it's done deal. It's gonna happen.
Yes, and you went from, a soap opera, super popular drama series, How to Get Away with Murder. That's a bit of a transition.
Yeah.
So what can you say The Bold and the Beautiful, in which you received an Emmy for, so congratulations, prepared you for How to Get Away with Murder?
Other than just the experience being on camera, I think mainly it just taught me work ethic. And I think there's a stigma out there about actors who are soap actors. I think a lot of people kind of equate them to not be as good of an actor, and I just don't think the average person understands how much work goes into doing a soap. It's substantially more than it would be for any other show or kind of genre of show. So working on a soap really taught me how to pick up things quick.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like the soap is a system, so it's very rarely about what you do individually. Like they can plug and put people in and out, as you see. I don't know if you're familiar, but like there's somebody who's playing my character currently. His name's I don't know his name, but my character on that show is Zende.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't think of another genre, another kind of show where you're able to pull actors out and put different ones in to play the same character. So that just goes to show you that there's a system in place, and that either you can use the system to your benefit or you can just kind of be a part of it. And so I think I learned early on, I got to work with my mentor. His name's Oba Babatunde. And if you don't know who that is, you gotta look into it. He was actually in Dear White People also. But he taught me a lot, and taught me about how to take up space and how to use my talent, but also just use what God gave me, which is not something you can be taught. And doing that show, it was either I could just show up to work and just kind of phone it in. Like a lot of actors show up and just say lines, and they get a check. But I wasn't searching for that. I wasn't searching for mediocrity. I really wanted to be great. And, it drove me a little bit crazy, but I think over time it built a really strong foundation so that when I went from doing the soap, and then, winning the Emmy there and being the first Afro Latino to do so, it just gave me so much purpose, and it just kept me really grounded. And so when I had the opportunity to work on, How to Get Away, I won't say it was a seamless transition because, when you're working opposite of Viola, it ain't seamless. It's one of those life things where you're like, damn, I'm really working opposite of somebody I respect and love, and I got to bring it. So that aspect of it was not something that I had to, that I picked up right away. It was something that you have to kind of, it was a learning curve with that. But, it definitely taught me a lot as far as my work ethic. I would say the soap gave me that. And also the fans, man. The fans of the soap fans are like the most loyal fans out there. Like they'll rock with you for like 50 years. They don't care what show you on or what you're doing. And so shout out to them.
Yes, I love that. Come on, Purpose. Proud of you. And working with legends like Viola Davis, I mean, that's an accomplishment in itself. And what are some things that you've learned from her that'll stick with you for a lifetime?
It's just so much, honestly. I think now she's become somewhat of like a just culturally so impactful for our people, and just because of what she represents. I mean, her name alone is like just holds so much weight, So just being around her, it took me a little bit of time. It took me a couple of months to figure out how to address her, because I think it just didn't feel right for me to just address her normally, like Viola. I was calling her Miss Davis and Miss B and all of that. She just like, eventually she just was like, just call me B, or like, don't, so she took that pressure off me, which I felt like I wanted to be great and be perfect for her because I had a lot of scenes with her. I was very fortunate to have that opportunity. And I learned from her that it's really not super important to be perfect, I thought that you really had to be perfect to do this kind of line of work. And the interesting thing is actually it's the opposite, because that's not how life is, and acting is a reflection of life. And so nobody wants to see you be perfect. They want to see you how they see themselves. And so when I'm doing the show, I'm not trying to think about being perfect. I'm trying to think about being real, you know what I'm saying, and being present. And so I learned that from her, because there were days I went to work and I was just like so stressed about these scenes. I had big scenes I had with her in the classroom. And she just handled everything with grace, and she just made it seem like it was effortless. And and I think from that point I kind of just approached the work that way. And I also just picked up technical things I saw her doing, on screen, and working with her and seeing how she kind of used the space that we were in when we were filming scenes, and just so many different things. And also her personality. People don't know her personally, obviously, but she's really funny, super opinionated, but just so well educated, and just, on a range of topics, really. And so in between scenes are really where the show is. We doing the show, but in between scenes where we're setting up shots and it's just me and her, or it's just me, her, and Glenn Turman, or Billy Brown. I mean, these guys are giants in the field, even though if you don't know who they are, like they've been in over 100 films and 100 projects. They're pillars in the community, without getting the adulation they probably deserve. But just to be there and be a fly on the wall and hear the conversations, and, hear how she grew up and just her perspective on life really, really kept things in perspective for me. So it was something that, when you're doing a show like that, you get to work with people like that, you just try to retain as much information as you can and just appreciate as much as you can. And I appreciated it a lot, but you always feel like you could appreciate it more. But yeah, it was dope.
Yes, I love that. People are not looking for perfect, they're looking for real. I think that is very important to take with you. So, and she didn't even tell you that. That was just you learning through her actions. So I think that's pretty important. And now your role as Gabriel Maddox was insane. You played the hell out of that character. So let me start there.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Could you describe the most intense scene that you really had to like brace yourself for?
There was two scenes. There was, and I don't want to spoil anything for anybody, so spoiler alert. If you haven't watched it, y'all trying to get it, y'all should have watched it anyway. Okay, let's just be clear, right?
Right.
But there's two scenes. There was a scene where Gabriel enters the church and he catches Viola drinking in the church, and she basically relapses and she's, recovering alcoholic, and he catches her. And that's just that moment that I had with her. It's one of the first times I worked with her alone. Like, it was just me and her on set.
Mm-hmm.
And, doing that scene with her, it was just incredible. I mean, I didn't really have to brace myself, but it was just one of those scenes that I just, sometimes you do scenes where you just feel warm, even if the scene isn't about that. And so it just made me feel very present, doing that scene with her when we were in the church, because it was just so complex, and it had a lot to do with how she handled things with Wes, and but also she handled the situation similarly with Gabriel, and so it was just some interesting dynamic. So that was one, and then the other one, I had a scene with Marsha Blake, who plays my mom, and that's my mom in real life too. That's my girl. She's amazing. People really sleeping on her. She's one of them ones. She's like that. And I had this scene with her. We were outside in the parking lot, and it was like a really emotional scene because she finds out that I killed her ex-boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my first time telling her that, and the realization that he may go to jail for life, and just a mother and daughter, you strip away all the storyline. It's just a mother and a son, just with a situation they don't know how to maneuver through. And so that took a bit of emotional preparation, I would say. The show in general was a bit heavy at times, and so it kind of warranted that energy a lot. But for that particular scene, I really tried to find what it was in that moment that I wanted, and also not just the fact that I was emotional, but why. And so it just took a bit of time to kind of reveal whatever that was. And hopefully, it translated well for people when they watched
Oh,
it.
it did. It did. I often wonder, what people think about. I know it's different for each person, each actor, but what did you think about in that moment to kind of strike that emotion?
Yeah. For me, I'm not a person that goes to class. I never really have been. I've taken a technique class, one technique class. It was like a month and a half, 6-week intensive class on Stanislavski method, which is just different kind of styles of techniques that actors use. And so I don't use that, but it was just something that helped me at the time when I was filming. So, but for me, I lean on kind of experience a lot of time. And when you've been through life experience, it's not the healthiest thing, because you kind of reliving whatever trauma that you've been through. But I think that for me, it just sometimes that sacrifice is necessary to relive that, for people to relive it with you. And it's just kind of how I go about doing it. I don't think about anything particular at this point in my career. I don't. Early on, I really had to dig deep and think about things that affected me personally. But now, I'm at a point where, I've been acting for 7 years, 6 or 7 years now. And it's a lot. It's a lot to do with the scene. It has a lot to do with the words on a page, as opposed to what I'm gonna do. If I have to go and search more than I should, then that means that I'm overcompensating for the writing. And so generally it's I don't want to have to do that. So I haven't had to as much, and so when I'm thinking about things, I'm just being present as I can, thinking about where I am in that moment. And whatever happens, happens. I don't go into it like, all right, I'm gonna cry, or I'm gonna, whatever's gonna happen. But if no tears come, they don't come. You know what I mean? And so that's kind of how it works for me. And whatever happens in that moment, I just honor that, and I just look at it as a real moment.
Yes, it's giving authenticity.
Right.
Yes. Did you always know that you wanted to act, although your original career path was sports?
Yeah. No, I didn't know I wanted to act. That was not a real thing. When I was growing up, we didn't I mean, I looked at actors. I mean, at the time, the idea of what an actor was, it just didn't exist. You know, I would watch movies and just be entertained by them. I never thought about the process of what it took to make them or anything until I was an adult. I was like 22 when I started acting. And, you know, before that, I had a pretty normal landscape on what I thought I wanted. And it had nothing to do with acting. I didn't even know what it was.
Wow, that's incredible. Like that's a complete shift.
Yeah,
So
it go to show, you know, like there's not a template as far as this kind of art. Like you can start at any age. You know, I didn't take one drama class in school. I wasn't doing plays and all of that. You know, it just sometimes the universe or how the world works will just kind of pivot you in the direction you're supposed to be in. You know, and you not even know why or like how. You know what I'm saying?
purpose, alignment. Yes, he's one of them ones. That's hilarious. And you're joining, you know, the cast of season 2 of Raising Dion, which is an amazing show, by the way. I mean, congratulations. That's huge. What are you looking forward to most about working on this series?
Yeah, I'm done filming. So we're finished filming, and that show comes out. Well, the second season comes out next year.
Awesome.
I filmed it in Atlanta. It was great. You know, I got to work with a super talented, you know, young guy who plays Dion, but Josiah, that's my little homie, man. We did a lot of stuff out there in Atlanta. We spent a lot of time together, and I you know, coming from a show where it was heavy a lot of times doing drama, and this show does have drama, but it's even more drama in it this season than it was last season. But coming from that and coming to this and working with him, you know, it really puts things in perspective for you, because sometimes we can take life too serious. And I just saw a kid just doing what he wanted, and he's just naturally gifted, and he just it never came off that he was ever pressured to, you know, be perfect. And I just remember thinking like that as a kid. You know, I can't imagine doing that in an adult field, but also thinking as a kid. And so working with him really kind of taught that innocence back into my head about how I was going to approach doing this stuff. And aside from that, storyline's amazing, you know, and I'm in there. I mean, every episode, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be a movie.
Hey, we're excited. Season 2 drops next year, y'all. Oh, we're so excited. That is an amazing series. So I can't wait to see.
Yeah.
I know it. I know. I can't wait to see how you contribute to this. So congrats again. And we all know that you are a heartthrob. You know, the ladies that love you everywhere. But we want to know who your celebrity crush is.
Man, my celebrity crush.
Not to laugh.
Cause you think I can't say. I really can't. Things celebrity crushes, if I know these people, it's just like people that I know. So it's like I can't say it. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of talented, you know, artists out there, singers out there who doing their thing, and I appreciate ambition. I appreciate talent. That's probably the most thing that's attractive to me, is somebody that is driven enough to have goals. And so if I say crush, it's like those are the kind of people I'm looking at, like, okay, you know, you're like me.
You're admiring.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, cool. He's gonna keep that on hush hush. That's fine.
You know, I can't. Y'all want me to shoot my shot here? I can't. You know, I'm already shooting it. You don't even know I'm shooting already. So I gotta, you know, let me see if you go in first. You know.
I got you. No pressure at all. And what's something that you will tell if you could go back, something that you would tell your 18-year-old self?
What I tell him? I don't know if I would give any advice to myself about my career. I think I'm okay with how things turn out. I mean, I always just say I'm okay with failing, you know, if it's on my terms. And so I think back then I was really like concerned about trying to be successful, and I don't think I realized that it really don't matter. Like whatever step you take, you know, you end up where you're supposed to be. And I think I always try to make the right step. Like I wanted to be like, every time things didn't go right, I was like, damn, it really affected me a lot. But it's interesting how things didn't go right and you end up, you know, things went wrong and you end up in the right position. And so it's kind of advice I would give them. And also just have fun, man. Like don't take yourself too serious. Don't worry about what the future got for you. The future is gonna do what it do. You know, you only got right now. So you look up and you're like, damn, you know, time is gone. What'd you do with it? So that's kind of what I would probably tell myself.
I got you. I feel that. Live in the moment. Enjoy it. Have you had any weird encounters with fans, like them running up to you maybe at like New York Fashion Week? Like what has been the most insane situation?
Yeah, all the time. I mean, think. I was at the airport one time, and I used to travel alone, because I had to travel a lot for work, and I don't travel alone no more. But when I did, one time I traveled, I don't know where I was flying to, but I was at the airport and I was eating, and everybody knows like one of your most vulnerable states is when you eat. Like you know, like you looking real like probably barbaric. You eating like it's just not a sexy thing. You feel me? Like you in your own world. And so there was a group. There was one girl that came up to me when I was eating, and one thing I don't like, kind of like with fans, is that sometimes they'll just record you, and so I'd rather a fan come up to me and be like, "Yo, let's take a pic or whatever," as opposed to like kind of just filming me like an exhibit or something. But I was sitting there eating, and like she just came up to me like close and started filming me, and I was just like eating this shit, you know. And then other people started coming, and it was just like all of a sudden I'm like, damn, I'm really by myself right now. I'm really like that, or like fans will come up to me, and especially when I was on the soap, they would come up to me and just address me as if I was that character, you know. People come up to me like just run and jump on me like, Zende, oh my God, how could you do her like that? Or I'm like, man, that ain't real. You feel me? That's not real life. But yeah, I love my supporters, man, because it just takes a certain type of person to really come up to somebody they idolize and also somebody that they recognize. I mean, shit, some people I wouldn't even do that. You know, I wouldn't even go up to some people. I wouldn't even want to know how they are in real life. But I don't think I've ever turned down a picture or autograph or none of that, because, you know, without them, I really wouldn't be doing this work. You know, like if people like hated me or didn't want me to see me in things, and shit, I wouldn't be working. So anytime I get an opportunity to connect with my fans, I really try to do that. I don't really just say take a pic and go or ask them where they from, what's their name and shit like that, just to give them more of a moment, you know, to have. And later down the line, maybe it don't mean something, maybe it won't. But for me, it means a lot. So when I'm talking to them, it's just interesting to hear where they from and what they watch, you know, because they don't generally watch the same shows that I'm in. It's like separate fan bases.
Yeah, come on, fan appreciation. I think that's important. I think that's really important. I'm glad that you do that. Now, have you ever had a moment where you've been like a fanboy towards somebody else? Like you've met them?
Yeah. A few times. When I met Denzel, that was one of the moments I was like, man, I really meeting Denzel right now. And he was cool as a fan. Like every time you see him, he's exactly how you think he is. You know, he's just like, yeah, how you doing? Yeah, okay. Okay, all right. Hey, what's your name? Okay, yeah, okay. Like, damn, like this is really you? And this man be walking in like this man floating, you know? So meeting him was one of those moments. Another moment, you know, was meeting Beyonce. Was like insane to do, because had a couple of opportunities to meet her, and I didn't want to force the interaction. So I was just like, I want to have more of a moment where it made more sense for me to do, not just go bum rush her. Like, hey, you know. So I met her at Tyler Perry's grand opening for the sound stages in Atlanta, and she was just such a graceful person, you know, such an embracing person, really. And you know, my mom was with me, and so that's the thing. Like I learned my lesson. Like I used to go up to people and, hey man, I love your work, but some people would be threatened by it coming from me. And so depending on what they do, and so they, it'd be like kind of like, yeah, I'd be like, damn, I kind of shitted on my thought of you. Like I thought she was cool. I thought she was somebody I idolized, And so I always told my mom, like, yo, mom, chill. Like, don't go up to everybody. Everybody not how you think they are in real life. And so, but she didn't care. She saw Jay and Beyonce, and she was like, I'm going over there. She went over there. I'm like, damn. You know what I'm saying? What's gonna happen? When you think of somebody like Beyonce, she's such a, global ambassador for everything. And so I just think it takes a concerted effort to remain grounded and humble if you're in her position. And so I just didn't know because I had never met her. And so my mom went up to her and she was just pointing at me from a distance. And then I'm like, damn, she want me to come over there. So let me come over here. So I'm walking over there and then I see B and she's like, oh, hey, she gave me one of them hugs. Like she knew me. And I was like, damn, you know what I'm saying? Like I guess she recognized me for something that I was in, but like, she just, the moment it was like, oh yeah. Like it was like, oh, it was a big embrace. And I was just like, man, that was a dope moment because her as an artist is just, and as a businesswoman, things that she's been able to accomplish and her cultural impact and impact in the world is just like, it's unprecedented. Not a lot of people can say they've done the things that she's been able to do. So I respected her a lot just because I know how hard it is to try to be great. And she's just making it seem like it's effortless. So that was one of those moments. I think I ain't really fanboy at all, but I was just like, I was a little reserved. I saw her from a distance. It's like when you're at the zoo, you're like, damn, okay, that's dope. I don't want to go over there because I'm scared of that, but that's cool, And so, but I went, my mom drugged me over there, appreciate her for doing that. She got a picture with her and everything.
Thanks, Mom.
Yeah.
That's dope. That Denzel impersonation was actually spot on. So
I never do it in front of him, but I can do a few impressions.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. So thank you so much, Rome. We appreciate your time. I mean, this was great. Super down to earth. I've heard great things about you. Now I can say the same. So thank you. It was great.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all having me. Just real quick, my show on Amazon with Love drops December 17th. I don't know when this comes out, but December 17th, Amazon Prime. Let's do it.
Let's go. He one of the ones.
One of them ones, baby.